Subaru no longer makes the STI, unfortunately. So if you do want to pick one of these cars up, you're going to have to buy a used version. So in this video, I'm going to cover all the things that you should go over when you buy a high mileage STI. All right, so before we get into the video talking about all the things you should be looking at with a high mileage STI, first let's back up and let's meet the owner. This is actually owned by an IEG employee. This is Mariah.
Hi.
Hey. So congratulations on your new car. Will you tell us a little bit about what year it is and how many miles are on it?
So it's a 2008 STI. It does have 170,000 miles on the body, but as you know, it's a Subaru, so of course it has blown up before. It has 120,000 on the engine. It's one owner, completely unmodified.
Wow.
So, and a thick stack of all the maintenance records.
All right, that's like a total win. And I heard you had a pretty crazy road trip to bring the car home. Will you tell me a little bit about that?
So I ended up flying to New Mexico. So that was 7 hours in flight and then 30 hours driving straight back, all in one weekend. No breaks other than fueling up.
I bet you were happy to get out of the car, or was it really exciting that you had a new car?
I was super excited. It was that new feeling. It's like even though it's an older car, I'm like, I've been wanting one of these forever, especially a red hatchback. They're super hard to find, especially one owner, all maintenance records, like no rust. It's difficult to find.
Yeah, you're gonna have to drive to find a car like that. I definitely think this was worth the road trip. You know, on the East Coast, all our cars are kind of rusted out, so going to the South is ideal. You're gonna get a much better example. But I know we work at IEG, so chances are you're probably not gonna keep the car stock, even though it's kind of a shame because it's so nice. Will you tell me about what you wanna do with it later on?
So I'm probably gonna throw an IEG closed deck block in it. My goal is 600 horsepower, so obviously gonna have to do all the upgrades that go with it. I do plan on keeping it reliable though, so nothing crazy. 600
horsepower seems like the perfect power level where you can still daily drive it. It can be a street car, but you can keep that reliability and still have probably the E85 tune or something if you really want to turn it all the way up. So yeah, we know a little bit more about it. Why don't we go ahead and dive into the things you should be looking at when you buy a car like this. Starting out under the hood, there are some things you should look for when buying a high mileage Subaru. I would recommend taking the car to a reputable shop in your area and getting a PPI done. That stands for pre-purchase inspection. What they're gonna do is a compression test, leak down test, and smoke test. And this will tell you the overall engine health and also let you know if you have any boost leaks or anything like that. They're also gonna visually inspect the car and check for any issues in the brake systems or drivetrain, things that you might miss if the car is on the ground and you don't get underneath of it. Another thing you might wanna check in the engine bay is the firewall. Some of the later model WRXs and STIs had firewall flex, which over time leads them to crack and it can become a huge headache. So have someone hop in the car and push the clutch pedal and look at the clutch master cylinder and the firewall and make sure that it's not moving around and you can't see any cracks. If you don't have any cracks at the moment, you might want to look into some aftermarket braces that are available that help prevent this issue down the road. So as fun as it is to make big power with your STI, the first thing you should really be thinking about is making sure that all your maintenance is up to date. So we just released a 105,000 mile service kit, and that includes a new water pump, timing belt, AC belt, as well as crankshaft seal, camshaft seal, and a bunch of O-rings. So everything you're gonna need at that 105,000 mile service interval. Even though Mariah does have a lower mileage engine, she's actually already past that 100,000 mile mark, which means she's due for service on all those items. And if you are planning on racing the car, I'd recommend going with the IEG Red Racing timing belt kit, which includes an upgraded Kevlar timing belt as well as adjustable idlers, and that's gonna be even better for high performance driving. Due to the age of the car, there are gonna be some cosmetic issues, and that's completely normal. Subarus aren't known for having the best quality paint or anything like that. The headlights have faded over time, but that's easily fixable with a good buff. You'll see that this car actually did have PPF, so luckily it has protected the paint a little bit. And there are some small rock chips on the car as well. And you know, the side view mirror here, it looks like the paint has faded. There are some great aftermarket options if you want like a carbon fiber cover instead, or you can always just get it repainted. One thing you might want to check out on the exterior of the car is the tire wear, because due to the fact that Subaru uses a symmetrical all-wheel drive system, you want to make sure that all the tires were replaced at the same time. Otherwise, you can cause damage to your differential. A really cool feature that the 2008 STI got was the wide body. Later on, they did give it to the WRX as well, but these big rear arches and the vented front fenders look really aggressive. And I do think the styling on this car has aged really well. It's got that classic hot hatchback proportion to it, and personally, it's one of my favorite body styles. Well, hopefully you guys enjoyed the video about what to look for when you buy an STI. So how long did it take you to find this one?
For about a month. Sold my house for this thing.
Well, you can sleep in a car, but you can't race a house, so. We'll put a link to Mariah's Instagram down below if you want to keep up with her build and check out the new IG long block that's going in. And with that said, I'll see you in the next video.